everybody, and welcome.
Hello.
I'm Visible Lady of Faith, and this
her
is
sidekick.
And we're coming to you with Faith of an Anointer for Sunday, April the 21st, 2024.
Yes.
And this lesson is taken from Luke, the 7th chapter, verses 36 through 39, and verses 44 through 50. So today we're going to discuss the lesson. And what can we learn from this lesson about having faith and who this or what this anointer was, or who this anointer was in our lesson. And first of all, what is an anointer?
Okay.
Anointer, as defined by Google, is a person who applies oil or ointment, especially part of a religious ceremony or ritual. I can't say that. Ritual. Yes, that's
Okay.
it. In our lesson, we have this woman here that, first of all, the Pharisee had invited Jesus to dinner at his house, right? So Jesus accepted the invitation and he showed up to have dinner.
So
at the
why do
Pharisee's
you
house.
think this Pharisee invited Jesus for dinner?
I don't think he had some ulterior motive, but
You don't think he did?
I don't think he did, but some people may wonder about what was the Pharisees' motive for inviting Jesus to dinner. Do you think he had a ulterior motive, or do you think he was sincere in his invitation?
I don't think he was.
You don't think he was what? Sincere?
Sincere, no.
You don't think he was sincere?
Nah, he's playing politics. He's trying to figure out how in the world you're going to trap Jesus, because you get further into the lesson, just the wording of it bothered me. Like, for instance, he says if he was a prophet, he would know what woman is touching him.
If he was a prophet.
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of remind me of when I was listening to, it was the Steve Harvey show on the way to the gym, where the husband of this wife, he saw something that he thought was inappropriate for her, because she had a home where she was baking. I mean, an in-house business where she was baking a cake, and she made an inappropriate cake as far as his opinion, and he just went ballistic, on her about the cake, and he told her, no, cancel the order, you're not doing it. So, and she was writing in and saying, hey, my husband has become very judgmental and righteous, and how do I deal with this? Okay, because she said she made a lot of money with the cake and everything. It was just business as far as she was concerned. But I won't say what the subject of the thing. It was raunchy, but
It was raunchy.
oh yeah. But what can I say? It's to me. I would have to know more about the situation. Is what it was. Myself personally, I wouldn't do it. But that's something there. But people. The point I'm making is the husband became really self-righteous and judgmental about what was going on. So he just pulled his authority, he shut it down. I said, and that's what I found in the Christian community. Everything has to be so perfect. And just a long story short, when it came up in the Bible study when we were a lot younger about should a Christian own a liquor store, okay? And I saw no difference, because I worked for a company that was developing missiles to kill a lot of people. So was I supposed to make sure all the products that we have, was it acceptable to the Christian society, or should I just, or what? How do you handle that?
I don't know.
Okay, but anyway,
I don't know.
But see, that's another subject. Go ahead.
Right. But anyway, so Jesus had accepted the invitation of the Pharisee to come to his house for dinner. So back in those days, they didn't have like we have now. We have phones and we have internet and
Paved roads.
Facebook and paved roads. So this woman,
Flushing toilets.
yes, flushing toilets, electricity.
Yeah.
But anyway, this woman came, and I think the lesson said she was uninvited guest. but she had heard word of mouth that Jesus was going to be there. So
Hold on. What do you say? She's if she's uninvited. How does she get in the house? Period.
a good question. I don't know, because the Pharisee let her in.
Yeah, and then again, this dude has some hidden motives. Because if
Yeah.
you did not want the person in the house, how did they get in? You can't tell me.
Right.
People could just walk into your house.
Right. I don't know. We can just assume whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
don't know.
no, because I looked at some of those, and
yeah.
and there's possibilities what's happened, but that's something to think about, because
Okay.
I would think he had a hidden agenda, because like I said, he
Oh yeah, that makes sense. He probably did, because he was a Pharisee, and you know what the Pharisees
They
did?
are-
They were like,
they're
I can
caretakers
equate
of the
them with
Mosaic law.
I can equate them with the GOP of today.
Yep.
They want to find fault with everybody else and not be accountable for their own behavior.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to get political, but anyway, so
Just thoughts.
yeah, just thoughts, right?
Yeah.
So the Pharisee said, "What is this sinful woman doing here?"
Yeah, you're saying anointed someone that does that. This anointing, we got to look a little bit closer at this woman that's doing anointing, because some of the things that she did was like, disgusting. So when I say disgusting, when she kissed Jesus' feet, I can't imagine.
I don't think that was disgusting. I mean, we know feet can't be dirty and nasty and stinky.
Okay, listen.
But-
listen. Would you
but
want to
what-
kiss my feet?
If they were clean, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're getting into the lesson now, since you had
No,
started.
just-
I thought you had wanted to say something about the anointer.
No, yeah. Well, the anointer, yeah.
Yeah, this woman was the anointer in this lesson.
Yeah, she wanted to, in other words, she wanted to show respect. Anointer is someone that want to show respect, because like christening, people want their child christened, so they anoint them, and they have a mini service or something like that. And to me, it's to make the parents feel that yes, what they're saying is, I'm going to take my child and devote them back and teach them things about spiritual things, about God. I'm going to teach them about Jesus and the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. That's what they're saying, because some people just like to go through, like for instance, I didn't have a godfather or godmother, but I've had god brothers and sisters, but never had a godfather or a godmother.
Okay.
Okay, my parents, well, I guess my parents didn't really have a need for it in case something happened to them. But God took, my parents left this world at the time that, I was at the age of 30 with my mother. And
You were 30.
that's what I said. I was at the age
I
of...
thought you said your mother was 30.
No, I
You
was
were
I
30.
was at the age of 30,
30
when my mother passed away. And when my dad passed away, I was at the age of 56.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. So what I was going to say, as far as like you mentioned about the christening of the baby, I think the parents want their baby to have a connection with the Creator. I think that's why they go through the ceremony or ritual for having the baby christened.
Okay.
And this woman began to cry. I guess she approached Jesus and she began to cry
That means she was very sincere
and
about what she was doing.
wash his feet with her tears.
Yes.
And she had an alabaster box.
Yep.
So what is the significance of the alabaster box? It was just a container for various oils or perfumes. And this is what she did, put on his feet. So that helped them just smell good, because like I say, they didn't have shoes like we have today, so probably his feet were dirty and stinky and smelly, but this was like cleaning them up. So
Yeah.
she was able to Kiss them.
Her
Yeah, her
faith,
faith, yeah.
because Jesus' movement at the time, the gospel or the movement at that time, her faith was in the gospel that was being spread.
Right.
And
The
she had,
law of Moses
Yes.
at that time. Right.
Well, no, Moses, the old law. Judaism was going out, and Christianity was
Oh,
on
I'm
its
sorry.
way
This
in.
is Luke. Yeah, this
Yes.
is Luke. This is not the Old Testament. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Christianity was
yeah, that's
coming
the gospel
in. Yeah.
coming
Right.
in.
Right. The gospel.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's that the whole thing is what I'm my whole point is this: just because somebody speaks in tongue or they shout and everything, that don't mean their intentions is doing the right thing,
Right,
love
right,
and what have you,
right.
because they may just be putting on a show so they can get political favors in the community.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's what it could
And
be.
want us to think a certain way, or them to
Yeah.
think a certain way about them.
Yeah, and that's why Jesus said
So-
her faith saved her.
So they were still kind of under the Mosaic law.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah, kind of under the Mosaic law. So this one, I think they were being judgmental of this woman. They said sinful, but never identified what sin she was committing.
Yeah, there was speculation.
So,
she was
yeah.
Mary Magdalene, that she
Yeah, it was
possessed with demons and
speculations
what
that
have you, yes.
yeah, and it's also speculating that she was
Prostitute.
a prostitute.
Yeah.
So it's like, how did he know what she was?
The other day when we were talking about this,
Mm-hmm.
okay, she was a prostitute, but what about the John? What about this and what about
Right,
that?
what about the
yeah.
Johns?
So the
Right.
story, yes, is about a sinful woman, but I think we need to shine the light on sinful men too.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Because we're all going to be judged.
And our sins can be forgiven too. It's
Yeah.
not like we have to waddle in it forever. Even though sometimes we repeat sin, that's why we can ask God to forgive us for our sins. Just because we're a believer don't mean we sin less.
Yeah, because it's
Yes.
another interesting.
Yeah.
They said it all started with Adam and Eve, and if Adam just had been the man that God meant for him to be, and he had said no to Eve, we wouldn't be in this situation. But guess what?
What?
If men would stop using prostitutes, then prostitution would go away, wouldn't you think?
Yes, I would think so. They
Yeah.
probably get into something
Yeah,
else,
so
whatever that something else
we,
is.
well, but we can't. But the
Yeah,
point is,
yeah,
I'm trying to make,
yeah.
which is that's not a reality thing, but that's just what men are. But I'm not saying that in general because all men are not like that.
Right.
In the flesh, and that's the whole thing about sin. The desires of the flesh, and when you do that, if you stop and really think about prostitution, a John, or either going, because right now 13-year-olds, 12-year-old men want to have sex with that. Just to me, I want to throw up just talking about stuff like that, and it's not right. And the reason why I think like that, because I have children of my own, I wouldn't want them doing it to my daughters, and I wouldn't want my son dealing with anything like that. So I don't teach that, and we don't tolerate that, within our family.
Woman, like we said, they assumed that she was prostitution.
Yes.
And she came to the Pharisee's house because she knew something was up, and she wanted to be free from that lifestyle and to have her sins forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I believe she showed up uninvited or unannounced. And she was sincere, and she had faith, and she knew the power of Jesus, and that he had the power to forgive sins.
She heard of, I would say.
She had heard, yeah, she had
the
heard
power
about
of
the
Jesus.
power of
Yes.
Jesus, right.
And her faith
her faith-
what brought her there.
Right, her faith
Yeah.
brought her there. She had heard about him,
Yeah.
and she probably didn't want that lifestyle anymore, and she wanted to be forgiven and to move on with her
See,
life.
you said something. She
Right.
didn't want that lifestyle. Because I was listening to a thing on YouTube, and they were talking about prostitutions. And what was interesting, a woman would sleep with 20 men in a night.
Wow.
Just can you imagine the wear and tear on your body?
I can imagine.
And you got these, it's like
Strangers, basically.
stranger. You're playing Russian roulette with your life. You don't know if
Yeah,
he's bringing
yeah,
HIV or
yeah.
some social disease.
Right, right. Yeah.
And then you might bring a mental case in there. All of a sudden, falls in love with you and want to kill you.
Right,
That's a dangerous
it's,
business.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous,
Yes.
yeah.
You got these
and- Mm-hmm.
holier than thou people. They decide they want to go kill them too. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very dangerous for that profession. And the thing is, you're looking at a prostitution. How did they get there? And just they got trouble at their homes, and what have you. And men take advantage of. It's just men all over taking advantage of these women in a situation where they're in a society. It's hard for them to get jobs to take care of themselves. Now women could get equal pays and that stuff. Like prostitution probably go away, because now
What?
If a woman can get a job and take care of herself,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and she could compete in the market, because you know
She might not choose to do that.
she may not choose that profession, but the way it's structured, this men's society, you know, I think if you sit there and read between the lines, what I'm trying to say is, men have dogged women in many different ways. So it's not just, I'm not putting the blame on anybody, but we need to sit down and take a look. You know, personally, how am I contributing to it? I want to contribute nothing but positive things to it.
Right.
That's why we talk the way we talk about things.
Right.
Because you're just sitting here quoting the scriptures to you. No, we got to bring it to what's going on with us.
Yeah, bring
today.
it to our everyday life.
Yes.
Yes.
Bring it to this time period.
Right. So what the Pharisee was saying about you associating with that known sinner woman, but like I said
No,
earlier,
he
we're
said
all sinners. But I think the point of this lesson is Jesus did not tell this woman, get out of here. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. He was
Kind.
he was
humble,
kind-hearted,
loving,
yes, and loving toward her.
understanding, Mercy.
So I believe that's what we can learn from this lesson, that we can apply. Just because a person may have a different outlook on life or a different opinion, that's no reason for us to mistreat them or
'Cause
be rude to them or anything.
If anything, because he was talking about Jesus, at the time, he said if he was a prophet, he would know who this woman is that's touching him. So that's kind of arrogant. Okay,
Yeah,
now if I'm
yeah.
a prophet, okay, he's a prophet. Let's just say, well, first of all, Jesus did know who was touching him.
Right.
Just get that straight. He did know. But look at the love that he showed her.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
And that's a
what-
good point, because
that's what we should be.
right. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That the point that we can get is to be loving and kind and patient and
Yeah.
non-judgmental toward people that we think are maybe not good enough or are so
I'm gonna say it
doing
different.
some outrageous things or
We should spend more time learning how to be like Jesus, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we just don't have the confidence to deal with a situation like that. Okay, but
Mm-hmm. Okay.
we should have the attitude, if we haven't started, to be able to open ourselves and understand what this person is like.
right, and what the
Okay.
person is going through.
Yeah. Okay.
What
It's another
what
point.
background led this woman to go into that? What happened in her life?
Isn't this
that caused her.
Isn't this an interesting point?
Yeah.
That Pharisee already knew what that woman was like.
Yeah. So my question was, he one of her Johns?
Yeah, that's a good question too.
But I think it was probably well known in the town that
Yeah.
small town. I assume it was a small town and everybody knew everybody's
Okay.
business.
Yeah, see, that's another point. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody's business.
Yeah.
But also tell the truth and present the story so people can want to do the right thing, because God is going to take the covers off of everybody. Because if you look at the news and everything, some of the high-profile religious leaders and everything, they stumbled. I'm not judging them or anything, but they got to deal with.
Allegedly stumbled. We don't know.
But,
'Cause we don't know them personally.
No, I don't know them personally,
And
they
I
think-
don't know if the people that are making these allegations know them personally.
And they may be lying. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know what's going on. But the point is, you really don't want to be in public or in a negative way. But if it happens, you got to deal with it, because somebody may be lying on them. I don't know.
Right, right.
But see, there's an interesting thing.
What?
Once you're committed to, let's say I'm on one of the professional teams, or when I was playing ball, I never had the desire in competing that I was going to join the other side and try to help them to score.
Okay.
I never had that thought. Okay.
Okay.
And that's the way we should be about, a child of God. We should want to never be on that other side. So therefore, but I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to get to the point when I was in a basketball game. Well, it's kind of hard to say, but today, if I was in a basketball game, I wouldn't want to hurt my opponent. Okay. But at that time, as a young kid, with the knowledge, I wanted to hurt him. Okay.
Back at that time, you wanted
At that
to hurt
time,
them.
yes. But now, that shouldn't be the goal. It should be just a game you compete. Okay. This woman, she was identified as a sinful woman. My goal is not to hurt her. My goal is to encourage her to come and do the right thing. That's what it should be. But she was already on that path.
Yeah, she was. That's
Yeah.
why she came to Jesus, because
Yes.
she knew what was up.
Yeah, she knew. She
knew-
was just tired.
And she wanted. Not only did she know, she wanted her sins to be forgiven.
And she was just tired of that lifestyle.
Yes.
Because you know, people, anybody's going to be tired of a lifestyle. Let's just say if you were in the drug business, you get tired looking over your shoulder and you're losing family members and looking at death and all that stuff. It's just a miserable life.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, we're gonna wrap this discussion up. So we hope we said something to provoke thought. So don't forget to like,
Subscribe.
and share.